Hi, my name is Sofia Trevino, and I'm going to talk about how SDGs are affected by corruption. I want to bring attention to SDG number 3, which is good health and well-being. This SDG can be affected by corruption when people are forced to pay bribes in order to get themselves or a loved one the medical attention they are in need of, and that they have the human right to as well. It is also quite common to see that doctors and hospitals as a whole put profit over patients when medicine is being overprescribed or when useless tests are being done in order to bring more revenue into the hospital or for doctors themselves to meet quotas. And lastly, well-being could be impacted in the way that products that we consume daily are made, because if they aren't done or they aren't manufactured with the higher standard, we as a consumer would never know. Because bribery and favors go a long way. And so the news or the fact that it is brought to the attention of the regular consumer that the products they consume are not being made as the packaging describes or as what is expected from a formal manufacturer because of the law and regulations could also affect our well-being and our overall health as well. I would like to mention SDG number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, and mention that cutting corners in construction has led to multiple casualties, as we've seen in Ciudad de Mexico and in other areas that are prone to earthquakes, when buildings aren't reinforced the way they should be and materials are being embezzled for their private gain or to resell them to other buyers, people end up dying and buildings end up collapsing, as we've seen throughout history. Also, using infrastructure for a different purpose that it was intended could also lead to casualties, as we've seen in the Bangladesh and the mall that was used as a textile factory sweatshop rather than the retail spot it was intended to. Lastly, I believe that red tapes and all the corruption that comes along with it has been a negative a negative cause or possibly the factor that matters the most when it comes to getting patents and innovations because of all the incredibly hard bureaucracy that has to be done in order to get a patient for themselves. I feel like people give up halfway through because the process is endless and people are expected to pay bribes in order for the process to speed up and be more effective. Lastly, I want to talk about reducing inequalities and how opportunities aren't the same for the people who choose to do the legal way and abide by the regulations that are mentioned in the country in which they live in, rather than the ones who end up doing patronage, clientelism, or any other type of corruption. I also believe that hidden agendas that corporations may have, or the fact that some corporations have a say over what the government does or doesn't do with their regulations, could also lead to smaller businesses not being able to make themselves known and have as much of a presence in the international and local markets as already established corporations have. And lastly, I believe that nepotism is also what harms people as a whole, because whether we like it or not, nepotism is extremely common, and usually the person who ends up getting the job isn't precisely the most qualified person, and they end up either embezzling the money or making extremely questionable decisions that they end up harming more people than what they might have imagined. Thank you so much.